So please free me, God, let me find solutions. Don't let these calluses from work just be a nuisance. Tight grip on the moment, no slack, no give, no looseness. Trusting in myself. Yo, what's good, CriTiC? Click, click. Army. Man, today I gotta tell you guys how much I love you. Just like how every other video I've been telling you, but today, man, I finally got past 1,000 subs. This was my initial goal, was to get to 1,000. And Army, you guys did it for me. You guys were the extra push, the huge push. Man, I can't even believe it. I'm so thankful. I love you guys, like, so heavy. I love you guys. Army, man, your newest recruit is just blessed, man. So thankful. But yo, I am also excited to look into this right here, man. Like, Interlude Shadow Explain. Shadow, dude, I have been playing that every day in my car. Every single day. Shadow is like my favorite song so far that I've heard from anybody from BTS, man. I swear, like, this beat switch and the drop and everything in that is just crazy. The message. And I'm really excited to learn more about the message here, and from what the comments were saying in this video, get my psychology degree, because I know they talk about the shadow. But yeah, let's just stop talking about it. Let's just watch it, man. I'm excited.
BTS is back, and so are we, theorizing all about their new song, Map of the Soul 7 Interlude Shadow. This is a continuation of the Map of the Soul era and its themes, borrowed from the book with the same name.
What video was that? That looks sick.
The book talks about Carl Jung's theories of the psyche, and we'll go deep into that, as I will primarily focus on the Jungian psychology and how it relates to the lyrics of the song. Carl Jung believed that for the betterment of one's being, they needed to go through a process which he called individuation. Individuation is a task of achieving wholeness of personality through becoming aware of our unconscious elements and realizing the patterns of which these elements operate. Basically, to being...
Okay, so like becoming more aware of the subconscious and how that affects you in general, and how much you don't really realize how much it does, you know what I mean? Like, from what I've learned is you can control your subconscious with what you repeat to yourself every day. Affirmations are a great way to take control of your subconscious, at least in my experience.
Realizing the patterns of which these elements operate. Basically, to be in control and not panic when shit hits the fan in your mind, basically being grounded to yourself. Jung studied the mind to create the map of the soul, which he used to come up with methodized ways to aid his patients in the individuation process. You must note that Jung believed individuation to be a natural process that will occur spontaneously as one ages. However, people often get stuck in a certain step or stage of individuation, and that is when psychotherapy comes in to give the patient a nudge in the correct direction. I think BTS intends to give the same message with the Map of the Soul series. They want to tell you that the power...
So literally, Map of the Soul is that diagram. Like, they're trying to explain more of these theories and help you. They studied psychology and they're putting it into music. Like, who is doing that, man? They're taking it that far to help people with good music.
occur spontaneously as one ages. However, people often get stuck in a certain step or stage of individuation, and that is when psychotherapy comes in to give the patient a nudge in the correct direction. I think BTS intends to give the same message with the Map of the Soul series. They want to tell you that the power is in you as individuation happens on its own, and BTS are just therapists making sure you go the right path. Now, to understand interlude shadow in particular, we need to talk about the elements of the psyche in Jungian psychology. For simplicity's sake, I'll only talk about the key two elements that are essential in understanding this song: the persona and the shadow. The persona is a set of different social masks that we wear depending on our environment. The personality that we try to portray to others. It is not the real self, but rather a compromise between you and society. We have many different personas for different situations. For example, you would put on a daughter persona when in front of your mom, but then put on a student persona in front of your teacher. You would obviously not act the same way and be the exact same person at home as you are at school.
It's almost like that just tiny bit of fakeness that you have when you're around certain people. You know, you gotta present yourself in a certain way. So, I get it.
You would obviously not act the same way and be the exact same person at home as you are at school. So you are putting on different
I like how they showed Thor.
personas in different environments. Now the shadow, the first stage of unconscious. Certain personality traits that you have will lead to negative feedback and punishment from others. This conditions you to no longer show these traits, but they remain inside of you, pushed deep down. These are shadows. These are not always intrinsically negative traits, but rather traits that you have rejected and neglected. Let's take someone who has grown up in a very homophobic environment, but is not homophobic at heart. He may have expressed his thoughts that love is love, but then was given criticism on such thoughts. So he represses his true thoughts and traits to conform to the social norms. He himself showing homophobic traits and his non-discriminate traits becoming a shadow inside of him. The first steps to individuation is to identify.
Right, so they're showing you that it's not always negative. Right there, you know. Sometimes, you know, you let the negativity shine and the shadow is the positive inside you. Just because you're conforming.
Non-discriminate traits becoming a shadow inside of him. The first steps to individuation is to identify and distinguish oneself from the persona. Many people end up believing that they are the social mask that they wear. Map of the Soul persona talked about this confusion with RM questioning, who the hell am I? Once people start identifying themselves with the persona, they become blocked from the possibilities of delving into deeper realms of the psyche as it sits on the very outer layer. With SUGA's shadow, we get to delve a little deeper and really connect with the unconscious parts of the psyche and confront our true self. Finally, let's get to the song.
I wanna be rapped, I wanna be the top, I wanna be the rockstar, I want it on mine, I wanna be rich, I wanna be the king, I wanna go win, I wanna be.
These are all dreams and aspirations that Yoongi wishes to achieve. He has high dreams to be the best, to be at the top, to be a superstar. You could say this is one of his personas, a once aspiring and now a true superstar. In the scene, you can see Yoongi in a hallway with dark figures. Yoongi is in dark clothes too. This represents Yoongi's shadows. Meanwhile, another reflection in the mirror.
Oh, wow. Wow, I didn't even notice that, these shadows here. Man, this video is deep.
This represents Yoongi's shadows. Meanwhile, another reflection in the mirror shows Yoongi in white with no shadows. I think this is a persona of the SUGA side of Yoongi. This persona has rejected.
Oh, wow. So one side is what society sees, but the other is him in reality.
Of the SUGA side of Yoongi. This persona has rejected the acknowledgement of any shadows, as we will see in the verse. Yoongi was excited about how far his path down his dreams would go, and ran towards his goal without thinking twice. However, the more he runs closer to his goals, the bigger his shadows get. Remember how I said shadows are repressed and rejected traits that exist in you? Well, this line shows that Yoongi, in becoming the SUGA persona, the mega celebrity he is, had to...
This is an awesome line right here, because he's saying, the shadow follows as dark as the light's intense. So as more famous as I get, the more that this shadow of myself, these repressed traits are coming out and talking to me. And not only that, but the whole double entendre here, because the shadow does get bigger as light's intense. You know what I mean? Dude, that's awesome right there.
The SUGA persona, the mega celebrity he is, had to hide away the traits that were a part of him. The bigger he got, the more he associated himself with his superstar persona, and the more things he had to repress, as seen in the scene. The shadows are banging on the door, but it's locked tight by the superstar persona, by the SUGA persona. Here Yoongi expresses that he is afraid of heights he has reached. This was what he wanted, but having achieved that, he realizes the place at the top is very lonely and very volatile. He feels that he could fall any minute.
I mean, just imagine the pressure of, having a high platform where everyone's looking at you. And it's so easy in today's society to just say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing and have everything just crumble. And that's it. You'll be defined by that one thing that you did, which is a lot of times stupid, but sometimes, depending on what you did, it's understandable why that person crumbled.
Yoongi states that him reaching superstardom and becoming more associated with his superstar persona has made his shadows bigger. The more he plays his role, he feels the more of his traits he has to hide. So the shadow grows and grows inside. It becomes harder and harder for him to hide his shadows because there are just too many of them now. He doesn't want to go any further up, as that would only make his shadows bigger. But he really has no choice now. Here Yoongi is seen on stage with hundreds of phones filming him. Like I've said, a persona is a compromise of oneself and society. In this case, the SUGA persona is a compromise between Yoongi's self and the spotlight, or the cameras, the media, the fans, as portrayed here. Yoongi seems confused. He wants to fly high, be a superstar, but it has made him more repressed inside, growing his shadows. He says, "Don't let me down, don't let me fly," two contradicting statements. I think this is a clash of his persona and his shadows causing the confusion. Inside, he no longer wants to be up there, but he has become so one with his superstar persona that it tells him to not let him down. As a representation of this conflict, you see the scenes of mics breaking glass. The mics are a symbol for the SUGA persona, as he is a rapper, and the glass represents the divide between his conscious and unconscious side of the psyche, as seen on this diagram of Jung's map of the soul. The breaking of the glass represents the breaking of the barrier of this divide, hence the initial confusion. But also this leads the way to the first steps of the individuation process.
Wow, dude, that's how deep this video is. I seen the glass breaking, and I always just thought it was a cool visual. / maybe a breakdown of the ego, but not exactly consciousness versus unconsciousness. That's crazy.
The breaking of the glass represents the breaking of the barrier of this divide, hence the initial confusion. But also this leads the way to the first steps of the individuation process, as it allows the shadows to be identified into consciousness. Here Yoongi admits he doesn't want to face his shadows. However, as I have said, this is a key step in the process of individuation, to distinguish their persona from their true self, and to identify and bring one's shadows into consciousness. Make themselves more aware and acknowledge their shadows. So Yoongi does in the next verse.
Huh, this is my verse. God, I love this verse so much. But yeah, this is genius. I wanted to say, I don't know, maybe I'm reaching here, but notice how everybody in the crowd looks like they're just like a silhouette, like a shadow themselves. You know, he's talking about, you know, as he gets more famous, which is bringing more people in, how the shadows keep growing. But, you know, at the same time in the crowd, everybody looks like a shadow. You know what I mean? So maybe that's a double entendre there. But I could be reaching. Probably am reaching.
Shadows. So Yoongi does in the next verse. From here on, the shadow of Yoongi becomes the narrator. You can tell it's the shadow talking by comparing this scene with the diagram of Jung's map of the soul. On stage is the persona, and down below we have the shadow. Easy, right? Yoongi was confused, but the shadow seems firm on telling Yoongi that it is also part of Yoongi too. Yoongi has been suppressing the shadows, but the shadow tells him that he can never detach himself of its existence. This is very true, and the process of individuation starts with accepting and acknowledging one's shadows. Yoongi is on his path to individuation.
Dude, I love this part, man. God. It is so killer, man. And I love this part, and the video is phenomenal. Look at all these mirrors, right? And it looks trippy. And then the camera angles switch and stop, and then he punches it, and like the glass breaks on the screen.
Path to individuation.
Sick. And this is a reach too, probably, but I know he's saying, I am you and you are me, now you know. But like in English, it sounds like whatever's now you know part sounds like he's saying agony. Coming to realization that your shadow is part of you sometimes could bring you agony until you can accept it. So that, I don't know if I'm reaching again, but dude, that's what I've noticed.
Here Yoongi again is accepting his shadows, or rather the shadows have broken through the glass wall of Yoongi's SUGA persona and made him understand about its traits and its existence. It doesn't matter if Yoongi is successful or not, whether he rejects it or accepts it, it is a part of him and what makes him Yoongi. Essentially, this song is telling its listeners to accept and embrace their shadows, despite what the persona tells you to do. The song answers the question RM asked in Persona, who the hell am I? Where he was confused with his persona as RM of BTS.
Spoiler alerts, bro. I haven't heard that yet. But I'm excited. Is that just an RM song? Like, ugh. I haven't heard just an RM song yet.
And his true self. Yoongi has taken another step further, as the question has been answered. He is not only SUGA of BTS, but someone with the traits of his shadows as well. Thank you guys for watching this episode of Explained on DKDKTV. If you want more Explained videos and want to support us making those videos, you can go to patreon.com/DKDKTV. You guys help us a lot, ducks, because honestly, this video is probably going to get copyright striked and we're not going to be able to make any money from it. So if you guys could help us by supporting us, it's just a cup of coffee a month and you can get access to exclusive podcasts, reactions to K-pop music videos and dramas on patreon.com/DKDKTV, and that's going to help us out a lot.
Yeah, you guys should support these guys. They do a great job explaining these things, man. And what else can I say? Like, what else do you want these guys to do? Because that was phenomenal explanation. But yeah, I think I just got, a little bit smarter here. I learned about a whole psychology theory, and I think that's cool. Like, I think I've heard something like this theory before. It might be the same thing. Like, there's 3 masks of yourself. One is the mask that everybody else sees. Then there's the mask that your close relatives and everybody sees, your friends. And then there's the mask of only you see, the thing that only you see. But that might be different. But yeah, I really like the concept. I really like that they spend the time to study this stuff and portray it. Like, they obviously take helping people very seriously. Man, so lit, bro. Like, but not only can he portray an amazing message, but he can put it in a song that is just absolutely fire, man. Yoongi, thank you, man, thank you. Yo, Army, that's it for this Explained. I hope you got a little smarter if you haven't seen this. Thank you guys so much, man. You guys are just the best. Army, I will be a part of you forever. BTS videos coming every day, at least one. Yeah, that's it. Stay classy, stay fresh. Get your goals done, man. Put yourself first. Love you guys. CriTiC out.